SketchUp 2025 might be the most feature-packed release of all time, and so I'm here to run through everything that's new in SketchUp 2025. Look, I'm going to hit the big updates. I'm not going to go through every bug fix and that level of detail, but if you're looking for more detail than what's covered in this video, first check out the release notes, which I linked down in the description, and second, leave us a comment if there's any particular feature you'd like us to make a video in more detail about. And that's it. There's a lot to cover, so let's get into it. First is environments, one of the big visualization change you'll notice in SketchUp 2025. So I'll go to Window Environments here. So environments are two things. One, a 360-degree photograph that is kind of a sky dome around your model. So it's like a full panorama. And then environments also, with image-based lighting, or IBL, control the look of materials in your model. So as I flip between, you'll notice it change. And then the real magic is when you rotate that sky dome. When you rotate that, oh yeah, dial it in to the exact look you're going for. That's pretty. That is pretty. So there's a number of environments that ship with SketchUp that you can choose from. And if you don't have the exact right one you're looking for, you can always import your own HDR or EXR files. And yeah, get your model to look just like you want it right in here. So yeah, the first big change in SketchUp 2025 is environments, and they pair well with photoreal materials. So I'll go to Face Style, Photoreal Materials, and yep. This is what your SketchUp models will look like now. Isn't that awesome? Photoreal materials use physically based rendering properties, or PBR. So in the material picker, this will look a little bit different on Windows, but the new materials you can see have this cube preview. The old materials just look like a square. But when I edit one of these materials, you can see this is at the top where the texture goes, the traditional SketchUp texture, and then there's industry standard maps, or kind of references to image files for different properties that the renderer will use to change how materials react to those environments. So there's metalness, roughness, normal, ambient occlusion, and all the materials that come with SketchUp have those maps already pre-applied. So here, I'll get out of this, and you can see a number of different stone materials for my countertop here. But the 3D warehouse also has extra materials that you can go to find the exact right one you're looking for. And they have, like I said, already pre-made, have those maps in, so you don't have to go adding them. If you want to, of course, like always, you can add your own materials and you can add your own maps if you have kind of a PBR workflow that you already work with. But Matt, what if I don't have a PBR workflow already? Hey, that's where Generate Textures comes in. So you can see this texture on the bottom here, this tile, doesn't have those nice reflections of the environment. It doesn't really tile well either. So that's kind of frustrating. But when I edit this material, you'll notice this little AI-powered pixie dust icon. That's Generate Textures. So I'll click on that, and you can learn more if you want, or I'll just hit continue here. And I'll play this in real time, no funny business. You'll see how long this takes. It's pretty quick. So what's happening here is SketchUp is uploading the texture, and then AI is kind of interpreting it and doing two things: tiling it seamlessly, which is much faster than the previous way of doing this, and then also generating the relevant maps for your material. And look at that. Look, it's AI, so it's not 100% perfect on the first try, but you can always dial in these maps to get it to look exactly like I want my tile. So maybe I'll pull this ambient occlusion down a little bit, and maybe change the roughness up a little bit. And we'll have videos on what all these properties do. But hey, that is a much better looking texture, and just in one click. That's AI one-click magic, baby. If you think you're going to use this or think this is cool, hey, drop us a thumbs up down below. All right, next up, I'll go over to Windows for our Trimble Connect updates. So the Trimble Connect cloud workflow is much improved. So now you can import right from Trimble Connect. I'll add in some construction equipment here. So a crane. And then what I'm going to do is save out to Trimble Connect, so I can edit this for this particular rebar equipment construction logistics scene here. So I'll save it out. I'll flip over to my Mac counterpart here, who opens from Trimble Connect. I'll navigate to that file. And then through the magic of editing, I'll add in these extra construction equipment pieces here. And then now save this back to Trimble Connect. We'll get to that purge unused reminder later. And so that kind of overwrites that file. And then now back on Windows, I'll reload from Trimble Connect and select my rebar equipment. And that's a streamlined cloud workflow using the new updates to Trimble Connect. Staying in this construction model, I'll talk about apply tags to scenes. So I have all these scenes set up in my, my model here. When I import my IFC, and we'll get to more of this in more detail later, you'll notice a number of tags come in with different IFC classes, but all those tags, if you're familiar with this, all those tags show up in my previous scenes that I already made, but I don't want them there. So I'm going to make an IFC tag folder, turn that visibility off, select my scenes I do not want that to show up in, and say apply tags to scenes. And then now my scene that I want that IFC showing in, it's there, and the scenes that I do not want it in, it is not there. So if this is kind of the workflow that you've done in the past, you'll know that this is a huge improvement. Extension migrator. So when you do first install SketchUp, if you've done it in the past, hey, this is the first time we've seen TomTom. Hey, TomTom. He's the new scale figure, legendary extension developer and Trimble team member. But when you install SketchUp fresh, you know that in the past, the extensions, like from TomTom, have not ported over automatically, which is kind of annoying to go one by one and add the extensions that you use. So we've added this new functionality for migrating extensions. So you can notice that this fresh install, no extensions here. So I'll go to the extension warehouse. And if you search for extension migrator, and download that and install it, then you'll get this little pop-up. Would you like to migrate extensions? An older SketchUp installation was found. Yes, please. Let's do it. So you'll be able to choose from a previous install to see which extensions from which version you'd like to import or migrate, I should say. You can choose, you can check which extensions you want to migrate and which ones you don't. Let's just get them all. Migrate these. And again, I'm not going to, no funny business here. I'll play this in real time. So it is really quick. It doesn't matter where you found these extensions at, whether it's in the extension warehouse or elsewhere. It will just take them from your previous, the folder of your previous install and bring them right in. So one by one, it'll go through here and port it over, install those extensions. And you do have to restart for that to show up. So I'll restart. So give me a second here. And yeah, you can see all these toolbars. I'll put them exactly where I want them. But that is a real time saver, and I can get right to work now that my extensions are automatically brought over and I don't have to go in one by one. So yeah, in the extension manager, you can see all those are in here, including all my TomTom extensions. So yeah, thanks TomTom for all the extensions, and that's Extension Migrator. Next up is the Purge Unused reminder. With the new environments and materials, it can be really fun to see what your model looks like in different lighting conditions. But if you've used SketchUp before, you know that all this information is stored in your model, and especially these image files can be pretty large. So if they're unused, you don't really want to have those sitting around in your model and slow it down. So all users of SketchUp will now see that when you go to save, you'll be prompted to purge unused, unused components, environments, etc. So in order to get that information out, it'll just kind of prompt you to keep your model nice and streamlined and working quick. You'll notice these environments disappear after I purge. And this is the same purge as if you were to go to model info, statistics, and purge unused. So it's the same purge as you're used to. You can always undo if you purged by accident. And I know a lot of people out there use like a templated workflow where you have, preloaded scenes or tags or something that you don't want to purge automatically every time. There is an option to turn that purge reminder off. So if I go into the preferences here and under general, ask to purge all on save, I can turn that off. And then now the functionality will be the same when I save as previously. That information is still all stored in the model. So if you do have stuff that you don't want to purge, that is a good way to go about it. I would recommend keeping this on because it's always good to have a nice clean model that is optimized and works efficiently. So that's the purge unused reminder. Modeling tool improvements. There's been some updates to some of the core modeling tools in SketchUp. So I'll start with the rotate tool here, and you'll notice you can now pre-pick objects with the rotate tool. And then there's these rotation grips that you're familiar with from the move tool, these little red plus signs that you can use to rotate around the center of a group or component. And then using this toggle modifier, I'm on Mac, so it's Command, I can cycle through the type of control points that the rotate tool can use for your center of rotation. So I'll rotate this into place. And then another update is to snaps. So snaps are custom control points in SketchUp. I'll enter this component here and right click and say add snaps. And the previous functionality was that this snap plane would snap to any face in your model. Now it snaps to the difference between two faces. So I have these two vertical faces here, and in between I can snap to kind of the difference between those two faces. So I'll add a snap here, and on this other corner, there we go. And then now when I make a copy of this little stool here with the stamp modifier, I can use those snaps to click right into place at the difference between those two faces. And another tool that got some updates is the text tool. So if you're familiar with the text tool previously, you could add a leader to a face and it would tell you the area of that face. Now the functionality is that will automatically update as the area of the face changes. So this is like auto text in SketchUp. I'll make these rooms a little bit bigger too. And then another update is to the arc tool. So this was something that was always in SketchUp, but is a little more easy to find. So when I go to the arc tool here and hover over a corner, you'll notice this kind of magenta, not inference, but a notification that if I double click on here, that will round that edge. And this works on interior edges too. So as long as I'm on the face, I can't be off, but if I'm on the face and double click here, that will round that. And then you can see that if I double click again, it will remove that and go back to just two edges. Pretty cool. Core modeling tool improvements. Now back over to Windows for some interoperability improvements. So there have been big changes to updates of importing and exporting IFC and importing Revit. So I'll go to this Revit file here and import it. Again, I'll let this go real time so you can see what's happening here. But there's updates to the Revit importer where you can choose a 3D view that will only import geometry. I'll go to this import view, and it'll only import geometry that's visible in that view. So you're not bringing in any extra geometry or information that is going to that you're not going to use or need and is going to slow down your model. So this makes the Revit import process much cleaner and easier. One thing too, when this does import, I'll show you there's updates to the hierarchy in the outliner. So the handling of data is improved. I can't cover everything in this video, so definitely check out the release notes for more details. So here you go, I get a notification on the results of the import. And then once I go to the outliner, you can see the hierarchy of this model. So that's really nice if you're importing Revit files as part of your workflow. And you can notice that of course, the tags are shown with different Revit entities. So yeah, go close to this model and you can see, there you go, you got your import, and the different pieces are all part of the hierarchy and information in there for your import. There are better file handling for IFC imports as well. So I'll go to import this IFC file here and import. This one will go pretty quick. And you can see that the IFC classes come in on their own tags, and then information is stored in the outliner as well. So that's really nice, better file handling for imports, and I definitely recommend checking out the release notes for more in-depth detail on all the updates to better interoperability in SketchUp 2025. I'll go to component options to show you that there is the different classifications and information, the data that comes in through those IFC, different types of IFC files. So it's all here in component options. If this is part of your workflow, I think you're going to be really happy with the updates here. Staying on Windows, when you download and install SketchUp Studio on Windows, you'll notice that you can now check the box to install V-Ray for SketchUp immediately, because that is included as part of the Studio subscription. So once I hit install here, I'll speed this up. Nobody needs to see an install process, but you'll get this pop-up, download V-Ray, and then you'll go to the SketchUp website where it'll automatically download the V-Ray installer, and just kind of a quality of life, really easy improvement for getting V-Ray and getting you up and going in the rendering process with SketchUp Studio. So that's a big one. Style Builder end of life. So you'll notice when you install SketchUp that Style Builder is no longer included. The types of visualizations that people use to communicate the vision of their models has kind of changed and modernized since Style Builder was first conceptualized and implemented. But hey, we still love all the styles that you created with Style Builder. And there's a whole bunch of new visualization tools inside SketchUp that you can use to bring your vision to life. And now it's on to layout. There have been some great updates to layout with some core tools. And so I'll start with the Move tool here. Brings the functionality in to be similar to SketchUp. So now when I activate the Move tool and use the modifier key, I can cycle between make a copy and stamp. And I can also click, move, click. So I'll click here to start the move, the stamp operation. See, I'm hands-free. And then I can pan as I do that, and then make a stamp here and a stamp over here. And I will make these clipping masks. And so that's the Move tool. The Rotate tool also has functionality similar to SketchUp. So I'll click once to start my point of rotation, my axis, and then again to start that rotation, and then click a third time to get that in place. Perfect. Another update is to the Scale tool. So I have this little vanity scene here with my bike rack. And this bike, I want to get this bike in there, but it's not the right scale, obviously. So what happens is I've had this image, I put it in a group, and then added a scale to that group. You'll notice when I activate the Scale tool, it's this kind of crosshairs. I know that this bike tire is 28 inches. So I'll go through the center of that bike and click a second time on the Scale tool. And then without hitting anything else here, I'll type in 28 inches and hit it. And now it's the exact right scale. So I can put this bike right on the bike rack. Looking good, bike. There are also updates to the Join and Split tool in Layout. So I have this simple drinking fountain DWG that I imported here. If I want to add a profile to this entire thing, I need to kind combine these different edges to be one continuous piece. If I wanted to make it look like SketchUp and have that outline here. So the old way of doing the join tool would have to do one piece by piece, and the more complex your geometry is, the more this can kind of be annoying to do one by one. But now with a join tool, I'll just undo back, so those are all separate pieces again. I can zoom out and select everything that I want to join, minus these two little pieces, and then hit join, and all of that will be one continuous piece automatically. So that's really nice. And split kind of worked in a similar fashion before. So I would have to go and split each of these pieces one by one. But again, similar kind of thing where if I go back and that's all one piece, now if I just select that and hit split, all those pieces will be broken out into their component parts again. So that's a nice quality of life update. And it works also on more than one entity at once. So if I select all this stuff and hit join, these connected pieces are all joined together automatically. So that's really nice. Updates to the join and split tool in layout. Zoom window. You might have noticed me slip this in on the last piece. But when I hit Z and go into the zoom tool, you'll see that the icon has changed to this zoom window icon. So I can click once to start my window, click again to end my window, and then I'll zoom in exactly to that piece. I want to find more information about this text that is just gray boxes. But it also works well with P, which is automatically going back to full page. So you can really navigate really quick. I'm going to look at this information over here. Looks good to me. P, full page. There you go. And with all these new fun visualization updates in SketchUp, we wouldn't want to leave layout out of the fun too. So I'll zoom into the SketchUp viewport, and you'll notice in the SketchUp model panel under effects, I can control a number of things. One being ambient occlusion, so I can turn on ambient occlusion on and off right here in layout without having to go back to SketchUp and update that. You'll see the nice occluded shadows showing up here. And then also my environments will show up in layout here that I can change right in the SketchUp model panel. So flip between a couple different ones to get the right lighting. It's maybe a little pink. Maybe a little too green. Okay, this one's good, but kind of a spotlight here on the court. So let's change this rotation and kind of get this a little more natural looking. There we go. Yeah, so kind of editing stuff right here in layout to get your model looking exactly like you want in your SketchUp viewports, speeding up your work and taking full advantage of those new visualization properties. Exporting and printing from the Pages panel. So this is a nifty little update that just makes things a little more intuitive. I have a number of different pages on this simple layout doc here, but I can now select a certain number of pages that I want to export and just hit export. I'll back out of that, but so I can select just a single page, or I can select multiple and do it right here from the Pages panel without having to go to File, Export. So that's nice. I can do everything all at once from here. Just a nice little quality of life update for exporting and printing from the Pages panel. Okay, those are the big things. Like I said, check out the release notes for more detail on everything. And if there's anything that you want a full video on, just a dedicated deep dive, DDD, that's what we call it here, video on any particular piece of this new release, let us know in the comments down below, please. And that's all I have for you today. So take it easy.